President of Azerbaijan Ilham Aliyev and First Lady Mehriban Aliyeva met with Patriarch Kirill of Moscow in Russia. President Ilham Aliyev and First Lady Mehriban Aliyeva welcomed Patriarch Kirill. Greeting Patriarch Kirill of Moscow in Russia, President Ilham Aliyev thanked the Patriarch for accepting his invitation to visit Azerbaijan and noted that this was not his first visit to the country. President Ilham Aliyev mentioned that both he and his spouse Mehriban Aliyeva had fond memories of their previous meetings with the Patriarch. Speaking about the relations between the peoples, the head of our state underscored that everything remains stable in this regard. President Ilham Aliyev emphasized the tradition of mutual sympathy, respect and support between the two nations and expressed satisfaction that strong ties between their peoples served as a solid foundation for interstate relations. The head of our state also mentioned the topics of interfaith and interethnic peace, understanding and mutual support in Azerbaijan address during the discussions, highlighting these as a key factors in sustainable national development. President Ilham Aliyev expressed appreciation for the active participation of the Orthodox community as part of the Russian community in Azerbaijan in the country's development, sovereignty and territorial integrity, noting their contribution alongside other ethnic groups living in Azerbaijan. The head of our state acknowledged the Patriarch's long-standing friendship with the Azerbaijani people and his consistent respect for them, expressing hope that the positive relations would continue in the future. Patriarch Kirill of Moscow in Russia warmly thanked President Ilham Aliyev and First Lady Mehriban Aliyeva for their hospitality, noting that his global travels as part of his spiritual mission had shaped his outlook on life and politics. While meetings with world leaders could sometimes be uneasy, he said this was never the case in Azerbaijan, where he always felt welcomed. He attributed this to the sincerity and warmth of both President Ilham Aliyev and First Lady Mehriban Aliyeva, whose genuine friendship fostered open and meaningful dialogue. Addressing the topic of Russian-Azerbaijani relations, Patriarch Kirill stated that bilateral ties were progressing in a highly positive manner and expressed his hope that this favorable trajectory would continue. The Patriarch noted that prior to his departure from Moscow, he had met with President Vladimir Putin, who had conveyed warm and sincere sentiments regarding President Ilham Aliyev. President Putin had also requested that a personal invitation be extended to President Ilham Aliyev to attend the forthcoming celebrations in Moscow marking the 80th anniversary of victory in the Great Patriotic War. Patriarch Kirill emphasized that President Vladimir Putin was not someone who adjusted his views merely for the sake of political decorum, and that any remarks he made were always rooted in genuine conviction. Drawing on his own experience in interacting with the Russian president, the Patriarch affirmed the sincerity and openness of President Vladimir Putin's comments regarding President Ilham Aliyev. He concluded by expressing his hope that President Ilham Aliyev would be able to attend the commemorative event in Moscow. Following the meeting, Patriarch Kirill of Moscow in Russia presented the Saint Princess Olga Order, First Degree of the Russian Orthodox Church, to First Vice President of Azerbaijan and President of the Heydar Aliyev Foundation, Mehriban Aliyeva. The award was conferred by decree of Patriarch Kirill in recognition of First Lady Mehriban Aliyeva's significant contributions to the preservation of traditional values in society, as well as her efforts in promoting intercultural and interfaith dialogue. First Lady Mehriban Aliyeva expressed her gratitude for the honor. The meeting concluded with an exchange of gifts between the parties.